Hey everyone, it's William Moore, and you're watching Beyond the Ties That Bind. Thanks for joining me. I pray that everyone has had as good of a day as you can possibly have in the present circumstances we now find ourselves in. I want to take a minute to try and show people the kind of mind of the people who are wanting to control you, what they think about you. Now, here I have a definition of government derived from the Latin verb governo, meaning to control. In the Latin noun mens or mentis, meaning mind. So government means to control the mind. Now, if we go to the definition of govern, to govern, it means to conduct policy, actions, and affairs of state, organization, or people. Similar, the synonyms would be rule, preside over, be in power over, reign over, control. A secondary definition: control, influence, or regulate a person, action, or course of events. Determine, decide, control, regulate, direct, rule, dictate. This is why I tell everyone that government and freedom cannot coexist, because government is controlling you. It's controlling your mind. Government is a fiction. And in your mind, you give government power. To govern means to rule. It means to dictate. It means to determine. It means to decide, to make the final decisions in someone else's life for them. And I just want to show you what these people who are a part of government, and I'm not talking about the banking cartel that's controlling it all. I'm talking about the figureheads. I'm talking about the mascots of these bankers who are in government. They're part of the club too. They would be like a 31st or 32nd degree Mason. Not yet to the 33rd degree level, but they're part of the club. They're just the front men. They're the puppets for the banking cartel. But this entire club thinks the same way about you. They want to destroy you. They want to take away everything that you have, everything that you've worked for all of your life. They want to take away everything that the Creator Elohim has placed upon this earth for you to enjoy. And they want to make slaves of each and every one of you. So I'm going to go to a video here, and it's of one of my least favorite people on the face of the earth, and that is Barack Obama. Now, let's just listen to what he has to say. And I'm going to run this twice.
In the United States, and for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign. In the United States, and for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Did you hear this? This man states that individual men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That progress only comes when you surrender to an all-powerful sovereign. That all-powerful sovereign that he's talking about is government. He's saying that they do not trust you, they do not trust me to govern our own affairs. That means they do not believe that we should be free. Now, this is absolute ludicrous. Now, I'm not going to let anyone off the hook, because even though Barack Obama said this, this is the mind of everyone that's in government. Everyone who has power, including the current presidential puppet Donald Trump, and I'm going to show that to you.
Understanding of your authority vis-a-vis governors. Just to be very specific, for instance, if a governor issued a stay-at-home
When you
order,
say my authority, the president's authority, not mine, because it's not me. This is, when somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total. And that's the way it's got to be.
your authority is total.
It's total. It's
Your
total.
authority
And the
is
governors
total.
know that.
So if a
The
governor-
governors know
if a
that. Now
governor
you have a
issued
couple of bans.
So, Donald J. Trump says that his authority is total. He's a king. It's just like Patrick Henry stated, and he was vehemently against the Constitution, and so am I. It's just a lousy, no good, worthless piece of paper that created the fiction known as government, was drafted in order to create a strong central government which gave this group of psychopaths unlimited power of taxation. Patrick Henry stated, "Liberty, the greatest of all earthly blessing. Give us that precious jewel, and you may take everything else." That's how valuable freedom is. I'll read that again. Liberty or freedom, the greatest of all earthly blessing. Give us that precious jewel, and you may take everything else. Because without liberty, without freedom, everything else is worthless. But you can take everything else away and leave us with freedom. And each and every one of us are rich men. Now I want to get to what Patrick Henry had to say about the president. He says that if your American chief be a man of ambition and abilities, how easy is it for him to render himself absolute? Wait a minute. Didn't we just hear someone say something?
Say my authority, the president's authority, not mine, because it's not me. This is, when somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total. And that's the way it's got to be.
Your authority is total.
It's total. It's total.
Your authority
And the
is-
governor.
Okay, so Trump says it's total or absolute. And Patrick Henry states, if your American chief be a man of ambition and abilities, how easy is it for him to render himself absolute? And that's what Donald Trump was doing, rendering himself absolute. So, he also stated this Constitution is said to have beautiful features, but when I come to examine these features, sir, they appear to me horribly frightful. Among other deformities, it has an awful squinting. It squints towards monarchy. And does not this raise indignation in the breast of every true American? And he even states that you shall have a great and mighty president with the powers of a king. He says right here, there is to be a great and mighty president with very extensive powers, the powers of a king. He is to be supported in extravagant magnificence, so that the whole of our property may be taken by this American government, by laying what taxes they please, giving themselves what salaries they please, and suspending our laws at their pleasure. So Patrick Henry was against a president. He was against this club that would control everyone. And rightfully so, because he was able to see what this small government, at the time, it looked like small government, was going to do. It was going to set itself in a place of controlling, ruling over everyone else. He says, consider our situation, sir. Go to the poor man and ask him what he does. He will inform you that he enjoys the fruits of his labor under his own fig tree, with his wife and children around him in peace and security. Go to every other member of society. You will find the same tranquil ease and content. You will find no alarms or disturbances. Why then tell us of danger to terrify us into an adoption of this new form of government? And I'm telling you, what Barack Obama said, what Obama stated there, Trump shares in that same thought process.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go.
Any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system.
Possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system.
So, take the firearms first and then go to court. That is tyranny. That is the suspension of habeas corpus, something that Abraham the tyrant Lincoln did. So these people, they do not think that you have the power or the right to govern yourselves. They think you incapable. They think you so small and simple-minded. And they believe that you need to submit yourselves and surrender yourselves to the sovereignty of government. It's a wicked system, and this is where we've been brought to. Any type of government leads to the situation we find ourselves in today, with this crisis, with everyone being told to social distance, to no longer be the human beings that the Creator created us to be. So, I want to point out something that Samuel Adams stated. If ever time should come when vain and aspiring men shall possess the highest seats in government, vain and aspiring men, and he's echoing what Patrick Henry stated, our country will stand in need of its experienced patriots to prevent its ruin. Samuel Adams. One more time. If ever a time should come when vain and aspiring men shall possess the highest seats in government, our country will stand in need of its experienced patriots to prevent its ruin. However, where are the experienced patriots? Where are the men who love freedom enough to lay down their lives for freedom, who say we will not live as slaves, we will die as free men before we allow you to govern us and put upon us the chains of slavery? And right now, Republicans don't see that Donald Trump is controlled opposition. He is completely controlled opposition. He's a Judas goat. He said some things that sounded good. He had a nationalist type of attitude, a very sour attitude towards other people, got by basically by insulting others, being very asinine, but it has put the Republicans in a place to where they can't say anything about what he's doing because he's on our team. We voted for him. And he is being used to calm the opposition, to control the opposition, to keep that opposition from rising. Because I guarantee if Barack Obama was doing the things that Donald Trump did, the Republicans and the right wing and the conservatives would be up in arms right now saying foul. They'd be crying foul. They'd be saying, you can't spend our money. Our child is not your ATM. Small government. But they're not, because they're being controlled. Vladimir Lenin said the best way to control the opposition is to lead it ourselves. Now, I believe that Donald Trump's doing so good that that's why Joe Biden is being picked to run against Donald Trump, because Joe Biden cannot beat Donald Trump in an election. It's rigged anyway, but he will not beat Donald Trump. However, I do still see a good chance, that there will be a contested convention for the Democratic Party, and the person who will be the nominee for the Democratic National Party for the presidency of the United States will be Hillary Clinton. Now, then you will see more rioting, more uprisings throughout the nation. If they want to continue to control the opposition, control the Republicans, keep them from causing any trouble, keep them from rising up against their president, their chosen one, then they'll keep Donald Trump in office. However, if they want to go to the next phase of the plan, which they probably do, they're going to have this lady as their nominee, and she will beat Donald Trump this time. And then watch out, because all bets are off. The bankers will use her to take things forward that have been implemented since her husband and George W. Bush and Barack Obama and Donald J. Trump. She will take all of these orders that are just sitting there idly, and she'll start enforcing them. And then we will see hell on earth. So, but I mean, in the long run, it doesn't matter. They could use Donald Trump 4 years from now to do the same thing, or 2 years from now if he wins the election, and the Republicans will sit idly by and do nothing. But like I said, I believe there's a good chance that this lady will come out and be the nominee for the Democratic presidential candidate, our Republican presidential candidate, because it's just two wings of the same bird. They're controlled by the Rothschilds, the banking cartel. But anyway, wanted to share that with you. That's what these people think. They want to destroy you. They want to take away everything that you have. They want to destroy your life, destroy the life that you know, destroy the life that your Creator has given you. So it's time to stand. We're running out of time, people. I mean, I know that it took a while for the War of Independence. It was not a revolutionary war, but the War of Independence to start. There was a lot of, give and take and push and shove back and forth for years before the first shot of the war was fired in 1776. But we're getting down to crunch time, and something needs to be done. We outnumber these people, and we don't even have to do anything by force. All we have to do is say enough is enough. We're living our lives. We are free men and women. And we're not going to listen to you anymore. Just like Arthur Spooner. Today, Jerry Stiller passed away. But like Arthur Spooner used to say, "Don't tell me." That's all we have to tell these people. Don't tell me what to do. As long as I'm not harming another individual or their property, then I can live as a free human being. And we need to live by that. We need to live by what the Messiah stated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because no one has a higher claim to your life and property than you do. This is William Moore, Beyond the Ties That Bind. Until next time, peace.